Let's get back to the transhumanism more directly. Direct human extensions, supplementing the human anatomy. The FDA has approved a telescopic bionic eye implant. It involves removing the lens of the eye completely and replacing it with a now FDA-approved implant capable of magnifying almost 2 to 3 times. One of the things they're trying to do is get direct limb-to-brain communication with these things. A new approach to transmit more data and let the prosthetics speak to the brain. The direct brain-to-computer interfacing, people are actually connecting these devices to their brain. And a monkey here is operating a robotic arm with direct brain-to-computer interfacing. And it's responding to his thought patterns. The fourth one of the ones I want to summarize here is artificial intelligence. The blurring the distinctions between the man and the machine. There's actually a television set being marketed in China by Haier in which you change channels by thinking about them. What you do is you wear a mindset. Now this, by the way, is a retail device. They're sold on for a couple $100, primarily for university use, but they will measure and report non-invasively the brain waves, and they're primarily used for games and such. But Haier is using it to try to be able to control your television set. But this mind reader headset is what startled me is it's a retail device. And if you're interested, you can track it down on the internet for a couple $100. But perhaps the most dangerous of all these things are the brain-to-computer interfaces, or BCIs they call them. They're actually implanted inside the skull, but rest outside the brain rather than within the gray matter. When these professors connect themselves to computers or other devices, one of the things that startles me is to realize that these people have usually zero insight theologically. They have no grasp of the field of study called demonology, a field within which there are things called entries, measure ways that demons can gain access. And when you open up communication channels, those are two-way channels. So the kinds of things that are possible, I'm not saying, let's shift a little more to the computer side of it. IBM has unveiled experimental computer chips designed for a new generation of brain-inspired computers that learn from what's going on. There is a point, Ray Kurzweil, one of the gurus in this world, he gives it an unfortunate name. He borrows a term from mathematics called a singularity. What he means by that is there's a point at which the computers will exceed the capacity of the human brain. And that's only a few years away, not a few decades, a few years away. It's that close. And when that happens, that's a major, major milestone in the field of artificial intelligence, obviously. The artificial intelligence area, the power of computers obviously are continuing to accelerate. Both the hardware and the software are making gigantic leaps. But that's when the computational intelligence exceeds that of the human mind. That's the target. You have to understand what their admitted ultimate goal is. If you can take your intelligence and transfer it into that environment, you've achieved immortality. And to exchange consciousness between bodies, synthetic or otherwise. And the fact that this could at least conceivably lead to a path toward immortality can give you a glimpse of what kind of theology these people share, or lack thereof, if you will. Ray Kurzweil's concept of this consciousness not only will be able to be translated into a machine, you can combine consciousness. At the end of a documentary on his life, they asked him, "Do you believe there's a God?" And his answer is very simple. He says, "Not yet." That's really the goal that they think they're on. Now, this is not decades away. These are just a matter of years in the minds of the practitioners. So we have convergent technology. We've got nanotechnologies whose goal is molecule-sized machines. We have robotics, which are aimed at being self-modifying sentient machines. There's genetics, of course, whose goal is the self-replication of manipulated entities. And then you have directable diseases targeting specific groups, maybe even individuals. There's no reason they can't design a disease that would only affect your DNA. And of course, artificial intelligence, exceeding the human mind, the singularity, if you will. These are convergent technologies.